Hello darklings, my name is Sanniz and I'm in the Swedish Goth and this is
Trevor.
And we're gonna do a little video together again. Yippee!
By popular demand, you mean?
No. But first we take the intro and see you soon.
Welcome to Sanniz Swedish Elder Goth. Not just stuck in one box. My channel is about everything. Not just goth!
Hello darklings, my name is Sanniz and this is my other half.
Trevor.
And we thought it was time to do another video. At least he suggested it yesterday, so we're gonna see.
No, that's because you lot want to see me again, so I'm obliging.
I think he's happy that he saw how many that really was looking at the last one. And
What do you mean me? It's you.
I'm lucky. I'm happy too that so many like to see you in the video too. Of course.
Sad kids.
Sad kids, he said. Typical Trevor.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I asked a little around what people was thinking they wanted to hear about us, because before we talked about how it is to be a metalhead together with a goth. And this time we should talk about...
You said music.
Yeah, music. And I thought you're not gonna deep dive in everything, but just to compare each other's and see how we have evolved since we were younger. So I thought we could start with to compare how we started out. What was your first album you bought with your own money? Nothing you got from friends or parents or something. What was the first album?
First album, well, that comes because of my uncle. 1987, Def Leppard brought out Hysteria, and I listened to the album and I thought, yeah, I needed a change in music, so my first ever album I bought, which was in '88, was Def Leppard Hysteria.
And I was not that old. I don't remember how old I was, but I had gathered all my pocket money. We got money every week, a little amount, and we could get a little extra if we do dishes and that type of thing. So vacuum cleaned at home, we earned a little more money for that type of way. So I collected my money, saved it up for a while, and my first own bought album was actually a disco album with Donna Summer. I collected the great radio greatest hits or something. That's with all her popular songs. So it was Donna Summer.
If you're talking about first ever record I ever bought, not album, record, was the Specials, Ghost Town, and then the one after that was Adamant, Friend or Foe.
At least he got something good from the back. Adamant. Did you hear it? Now we have it for proof here. He did listen to Adam and
Yeah, of course I did.
Stand and Deliver.
The thing was that it wasn't until '87 when I started changing over to more the rock side of things instead of the pop side of things. I think it's mainly because my mum didn't really like the music at the time, the metal, and especially the goth scene that was coming on, like Depeche Mode and things like that. There were people coming in. She didn't like all them until I brought home Hysteria album, and I was listening to it, and my mum went, "Oh, I like that one," and then she sort of changed slightly.
And one funny fact about that album is that I actually had that album back in the days too. And I have a little funny story about it. I have told Trevor about it, but it was when I still lived at home. I was the only one of the siblings that had a real stereo, you know, the one that is on racket on top on each other. Yeah. You have the different parts.
Stock system.
And I was in the kitchen and did the dishing actually. And suddenly the music was very loud, played from my own room. Back in the days I actually got an own room the last years because we moved to a little bigger flat. And my mom came in angry, "You have to turn down the volume." I said, "I don't do it." "Yes, you have to, it's your music." "I'm still not gonna do it because it's not me that's playing. Who else should it be? Go and turn down the volume." And I still refused. So she went angry and wanted to crash the whole stereo thing when she rushed into the room. And what did she see when she came into the room? She see my dad is standing and rocking the shit of himself and saying to her when she came, "Do you know the drummer don't have arms?" And the only thing I could say, it wasn't me. So I think it's really funny that we actually had that album in common, even if I'm not directly a big Def Leppard fan in that type of way, but I think it had to do with MTV and all that kind of stuff, because I loved not just Goth and the 80s music anyway. I also listened to a lot of the rock music, and Def Leppard and all those bands was some of the bands that was heavily played on the MTV. So I guess that's why it's a little like a mainstream album, even if you're not a rocker or something.
You see, that album sort of sits between rock and, I wouldn't say glam, it was just, it sort of covered both sides of the like glam and heavier rock, you know, like Bon Jovi sort of thing. Bon Jovi was more rock, but they became too pop.
Too pop, yeah.
You see, the thing is with like the evolution of music these days, for instance, you get like the old bands and everything else, like, is the case of Def Leppard was great up to a certain point and then started to become more pop side of things. Bon Jovi was the same. They did the same thing. They didn't stick to what they knew before they become more pop. And that just turns me away from them. I prefer the earlier stuff than the later stuff. You know, I give it, my second album I ever bought was Seventh Son, the Seventh Son, which is the Iron Maiden album, which was in '88. They are great up to Virtual 10 and 11. Then after that, this sort of like making the tracks too long, and it's frustrating. I like I'm more old school. I prefer the older stuff than I do like the newer stuff.
And if we should go down in the years, I'm not sure if you're older and younger than the first album you bought, but if you should take from your younger days when you're around teenager up to you're around 20, what should you say is the music that influenced you back then? I know it can be hard.
Yeah, well, the thing is, up to 87, like I said, up to 87, everything was more, for instance, like Fergal Sharkey, Belinda Carlisle, you had all them type of more pop records. Bucks Fizz was another one, Spandau Ballet, you had all Duran Duran, you had all them type of early 80s music until that album in 87, and then my music changed. Now 87 I was 16. So it was a case of, it was a change that I actually stuck with after 87. More and more the stuff from 87 onwards then became more rock, metal, heavy metal, sort of black thrash type sort of thing. So 87 was like the pivotal year where everything changed over to what I listen to now.
I could say when I was just before teenager up to around teenager, I was mainly into like the new wave bands and those bands and very popular 80s music that people always hear about when you're gonna count down the most popular 80s music, for an example, if they do those 80s TV shows with the videos going around that thing. So it was a lot of those bands that I was into, Eurythmics, Annie Lennox, herself like a solo. Then you have now I forgot the names, of course. Someone Yazoo it was.
Also Moya and Yazoo.
Yeah. and a lot of other type of band, Kajagoogoo and you name it.
Kajagoogoo.
We say Kajagoogoo in Sweden, so it might be another pronunciation when you're a proper English person. But in Sweden we say Kajagoogoo, and I guess people understand because it's limal. At least we said limal, but limal. You see, different countries, different way to say
pronunciation here is.
Yeah, but you don't always pronounce our things proper either, so it goes both ways. But it was a little that new romantic, new wave type of style, and a little more modern dance music coming. And then I started to deep into like punk, and there was a lot of Swedish punk band, and there was of course British band mostly, and then we have some of the American ones, for an example Ramones in that case. Everybody knows Pet Sematary and those songs. Sheena is punk rocker and you name it. And yeah, it was Billy Idol, the Six Pistols. Then we got a Swedish band like Ebba Grön, Imperiet, and Noise, and you name it. And the local band that was sucked, really. It sounded like they trashed all the instruments they tried to play on because they couldn't play. So, but after that, I started to step into more that I'm gonna understand by over time should be goth then, but we didn't have the label for many years. I didn't know that I was a goth. I liked a lot of different music too, but at the same time my friends didn't always listen to exactly what I listened to, so therefore that was a little weird, but I could enjoy their music. But then I had a little darker period, and I think I was around 17 up to when I was 20. I had a period when I listened a lot to both Wasp and the Mötley Crüe. So even if I still loved goth in that type of way, so I still have that period when I went very deeply into that type of rock music then. And I think it also helped me go through a lot of frustration periods in school and with everything goes on in my life, a little personal with family and everything, but that could kick some of the frustration out of my system when I was listening to that type of music. And one of my best friends, he was more into that type of rock only. She was not into goth, so it was an easy way, and we enjoyed it very much. And people thought we were Satanists and all that kind of things that even goths been.
I get that now.
Yeah, but that was the typical when they saw you. It was like when I was at my friend's home one day and her mom was not home, and we should make us ready to go out in town. And I was almost finished, and they knocked on the door and she said, "Can you open the door?" And I went there and we played Wasp on very loud volume. And outside the door we had Jehovah's Witness. And they just looked at me, and normally they are very hard to get rid of. If you open the door, it can be very hard to close it because they try to get into and use the.
Not what I'm concerned.
Use the God things against you. But in this case, when they heard the music, they just looked at me because I was already very hard makeup with black eyeliners, and the hair was standing up. I had spike belts and the tight black jeans and. A band t-shirt that maybe was not that really great to look at because for some people it was scary. It was worse than a horror movie to see the motive on it. So, and they just looked at me and said, "It's too late." And I just looked, what happened? I didn't understand anything by then, but it was a little funny story after. But I'm not a Satanist. I'm not even a Christian, so. I'm more a pagan, but that was a funny memory for when it comes to music, and you can see how you can still tumble into other type of music than maybe the main one you should prefer. But what should you say, Trevor, is the music that have created the taste that is more you today? How should you say it have evolved since you were 20 up to now?
I'll put it this way. My taste in music can vary quite a lot, depending what I'm listening to, and it depends what comes out. I mean, admittedly, I hate to say this, I can have various tastes from early 80s normal pop stuff, so like Eurasia, there's all them type bands, Yazoo and so on and so forth.
Howard Jones.
Fuck off with Howard Jones.
Gotta let you.
Don't. But I think in one way or another, it's like I'm just picking up on the point that you just mentioned then about the music that you was on about. I think 87 was a change in the fact that I'd sort of had enough of what was going on in my life at that time. I'm not going to go into a lot of it, or sure I'm not really going to go into it at all. It was just a change in the life where it was a case of kicking back. I was due to leave home the year after to join the armed forces. And it was sort of kicked back at a certain person. And I just carried on from there. And evolving from that is basically everything that sort of shouts back at the world type. So then you had Iron Maiden, you had that coming out, you know, like Def Leppard, like started off. Then, like you said, Wasp. My next album after that was The Headless Children by Wasp. I enjoyed listening to that one, and then it just progressed from there. At times I sort of like missed out on a lot of different types of music because I didn't have time to in that particular period. I give you, for example, Iron Maiden's Can I Play With Madness?
Mm-hmm.
When they released that video clip, I didn't see it for 5 years after the fact that they released it. I've sort of like missed out, you know, because there was so much going on, you didn't really get time, so by the time you get around to thinking about getting to watch it, then, you know, it's like time's passed. So, my music has evolved gradually up the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's become sort of more heavier. But then again, that's when we started getting talking. And you sent me the first video that you sent to me when we got talking was Birthday Massacre. Never heard of them at that particular time, and she sent me the track Blue.
It's my favourite Blue with the Birthday Massacre.
And I kind of went, who the shit's this? And I kind of started watching. I thought, well, that's not too bad. Now, when somebody's like her sent me that sort of thing, I start then to look at the band behind what's going on, what music is there, and I thought, right, great. I done, just say, acquired their music in a way that I could actually turn around and just listen to it. I thought, no, okay, great, get on with that one. Next one she's turned around and sent to me. Now we had a bit of a discussion, argument type thing, and it was Poets of the Fall.
Poets of the Fall, Carnival of Frost, I guess it was the song then.
Which one?
Carnival of Frost.
Carnival of Rust.
Yeah.
It was that one. Now on that one, because my life sort of was slightly sheltered but not sheltered, so because I wasn't open to other things, that came in and we had a real sort of disagreement in the fact that I thought it was extreme because if you ever watched the video, is the fact of PVC corsets, masks, you know, that type of thing.
And in a steampunky...
That's what I mean, but I thought that we had a discussion, I thought it was a bit extreme in regards to that sort of thing because I'd never really seen it properly beforehand. I've heard about it and sort of seen pictures, but not like that. So Ports of the Fall came in, and then what was it after that? There was something else that came in after that one, sort of, and then there's another band, but
I think I did a little mild progressive to come closer to what I really listen to most of the time. So I started because I knew he was a rock metalhead. So
I mean, I already knew about the Cure, Susie and the Banshees and all the other ones sort of. It's just that I never got around to listening to them because I was too busy shouting back at the world. Because, like for instance, the Hybrid Theory, that type of thing. Then you had all like, for instance, Pod. They came in. A was another one, and then you get all the other bands that came in as well. So the Metallica I've always sort of followed anyway. I'm not keen on, for instance, like Subculture and I can't think of the name of the freaking band now. But the like sort of the thrash side. Anthrax sort of brought out one or two tracks I do like. Subculture was another one. They brought one or two tracks out. Megadeth was another one. I will only pick certain tracks that I particularly like. I won't really go into following them. But certain tracks I will listen to. If it's easy on my ear, it's got to be great to my ear for me to, for instance, listen to it. One set of music she did get me started listening to was operatic metal.
Huh? Don't blame the same.
Sorry, but operatic metal to me, it just does not. Sorry, but it doesn't do anything for me. I can understand the mixture between the two and mix them together and get what you're getting, but sorry, but that's just a turn off for me. I just don't particularly like it. I sort of listen to one or two, then you start getting a symphonic freaking type of things, and I'm going, no, don't like it. I won't particularly listen to it. If it's on the radio, then fair enough, and you don't. But any other time, if it's my personal choice, I will not be listening to it. I can't be doing with it. Just does not sound good in my ears.
Yeah, but it's always the case. We can't like everything just the same. So,
No.
and I think the good thing that no one is really putting the pressure on the other one either to force them to like everything either. We rather take on one pair of headphones each and go and listen to our own things if we don't feel to listen to the same things. Of course, Trevor can put on, some days he do a lot of goth music when he play loud in the flats during weekends. But then next time he maybe put on more like your type of 80s rock and even older, or sometimes it comes to a little more...
You mean the mixes I have?
Yeah, the different mixes you usually play. So, and then we have moments that we don't feel to listen to the same type of music, and then we just add on our own headphones on and play whatever we like. So we don't care that much. If he sits down and do his models, he can sit down with his own music, and I can go around and do what I want with my music in my ears. So we don't gonna bother each other with forcing them to listen to something if you're not in the mood for it either, or if it's completely out of the interest too, because some of the music on some parts he don't agree with my taste and I don't agree with his taste. So you need to know that if you are a couple, you can't force the other if you're gonna have it to work. You need to sometimes keep a space even when it comes to the music. So, and it's the same even inside the subculture. You can't really force another person to like exactly what you want, because maybe they have another interest. One like more death rock, and next one want to just post-punk or only dark wave or something like that. And of course the one is not gonna like death rock in that case.
No. See, the thing is, at the end of the day, I don't force her, but on my laptop, for instance, if I put music on, I have a goth mix. It could be anything. Anything that she likes goth-wise. There's all the old goth, there's fucking new, well, I wouldn't say new, but some of the music she listens to regarding goth-wise, I kind of going, what the fuck am I listening to here? And I kind of going, yeah. So she listens to hers, I listen to mine. We do have a mixture of 80s and 90s music on the list. I've also got a mix of just completely everything on there, but it's mainly rock stuff and goth stuff, not pop. So we have all that. I mean, she has her favourite bands and I have mine. Now originally it was Def Leppard, Iron Maiden and all them ones from the early 90s sort of thing, and then you sort of progress with the particular bands and it came up with it. I have favourite bands, you know, Arch Enemy's another one. Behemoth, I enjoyed actually watching them when they was playing in Stockholm with Slipknot.
Yeah, they were really good.
I enjoyed watching that. Now I've been trying to watch Slipknot for a good few years by watching the concerts, but you know, it's only until I got here we actually got to go and see them. Behemoth was sort of a bonus in the fact I'd never seen them. I'd not really listened to any of the music. So Slipknot was a big thing as well, so then they came in, all shout back at the world, but they've gone completely fucking toilet now, to be honest.
Yeah, but I think it's probably so with many bands, if you follow them for a longer period, so sometimes they evolve in the right direction that you're gonna continue like them. But sometimes you have bands that you only like for the old stuff, but you don't like what they ended up with. But we still need to know that even artists are persons with their own creativity and that thing, and if they want to evolve away from what they used to be, so we can't really blame them. I guess if they didn't do what they do, so they maybe been born and stopped doing it. But of course, some bands gonna continue to stay cool, and other we don't gonna like anymore and say that's shit. So and it goes even with goth bands. Sometimes you wonder what the heck are you doing now, because this sounds terrible, especially if you compare with the earlier stuff. And sometimes the earlier stuff sounds like shit too, and they evolve in a good way. So, and it goes that way with rock music and other type of music too. So, and we are at least lucky that we are from Generation X, so we have grew up through a lot of good music, no matter what type of music it really is. So.
See, there's one thing that you mentioned a while back, and you got me into listening to them, and I enjoy the band because the evolution now has sort of stopped because of he's now dead. So the evolution sort of stopped, and that's Type O Negative. Now, admittedly, I'd actually heard them when they first came out, but the problem with the thing is it's being naive at the time, I wasn't really listening, is what's happening with the music at that particular time. And what really used to wind me up is where you actually turn around and take the plaque all the way down the strings, and that used to wind me up then. Not now, because you got me back into listening to Type O Negative at one point, and I kind of went, I think it's Love You to Death, I think it was. The first track you gave me to listen to, and I thought, oh. Now that sort of hit a nerve with me sort of thing, and then it was a case of other ones came in, I thought, right, I'll get the Type O Negatives CDs that got in. And it's one of my now favourites in the fact of, one, it's not going to evolve any more than what it has done because of Pete Steele now being dead. So it's not going to evolve anymore. So all the stuff we have now, something, or I have now, it's not going to change, and I enjoy it. Korn is another band. Now, the reason why I mentioned them two together, because they sort of fit together. You know what Pete Steele says and what he says in his lyrics, and then you listen to Korn and what they say in that one, and they are very similar bands. Now, the reason why I picked them two is because of certain reasons, sort of, but they two mix together quite nicely. Now, I'd love to see Korn again. I did see them in 2012 in Manchester, and I enjoyed listening to them. I still do now, sort of. I mean, they did go a little bit crap at one point, and they started to come back again. But them two are my main ones now. But I do also listen to newer stuff that's coming in. Now, I mentioned to her yesterday, 6 Years Silence. I think they're a band from Glasgow, I think. They don't have a lot of records out. I think maybe a couple of albums, I think. But they're well worth listening to. She hasn't listened to them, but there you go.
I don't listen to everything, but sometimes they send me videos and that type of thing, and I have to take a look what it is and see if there's something I can say, okay, you can play it for me too, so it works too. So, and like I said, goths don't have to listen to just one thing, because that should be boring too. Of course it's a big umbrella, but you are not limited to just listen to one thing and lose your goth pulse that type of way. And people are also afraid, especially baby bands, that they're doing everything wrong if they dare listen to something else. That's not the way. We didn't even do it back in the 80s. And often, at least when you grew up like me, didn't be that many in the same. And I was the only goth in my village where I came, because it was outside Borås too, so it was not even inside this bigger town compared with where I grew up for the first 17 years. So to us to stand against the mainstream kids that didn't like us with us. So it was the punkers, the metalheads, the synthar, we called it, the people that like Depeche Mode and Kraftwerk and similar. So everybody that was like an alternative style hang together. So that means that we were listening to each other's music too. We didn't like everything that other persons liked, but at least we accepted that we are different. We can give it a go. If we had a mixtape, because that was usually in the 80s, it was always some song that was your songs, and then everybody had the same chance to put a song into that mixtape too. So no one could really say, oh, you only play your type of music, because we have everything in there. So it's just you have to pick the right song for that mixtape so you could be satisfied with listening to the rest then. So I think that's the main thing compared with how you see today with the TikTok kids today, that try to go so hard into everything and they think they know how it was all the time, back then especially, and they haven't even been there, because it's not like they have a time machine and can go back. So they don't understand this difference, that we were really accepting even to other type of music too, and all the alternative people were hanging together. We had respect for each other. So of course it was some, when it was up to around my 20s or something, we had a little problem with skinheads attacking other people, but I don't think that most people like the skinheads anyway, so...
Not then, no.
No. At least not what it was famous for back then, if you can say famous, but you could tell so. You didn't like them because you also know that if they saw you and came too close, you could be risked to be abused, because they target you if you were one of the alternative.
See, the thing is, this is the problem we have today, and I'm going to be brutally honest, I don't care if there's any youngsters who get offended by this, but I really don't care, that's my opinion. But at the end of the day, the kids of today, especially when you come from the mid-90s upwards, and they don't seem to have the respect for the older ones, that what we had to go through. Picking on a point, skinheads at the particular time were just known for just being complete nasty pieces of work.
Oh, really arseholes.
But then again, is that what I find more annoying is the younger generation seem to think they know everything. You know shit. Unless you've lived what we had to go through when we was youngsters and everything that gone on at the time, you're never going to compete because you've had it far too easy. You youngsters today, oh, well, you can't listen to it like that. You can't listen to this. You've got to listen to this. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. You've got to do this. You've got to... Then you start having to go to the older generation. Sorry, but the older generation ain't going to listen to fucking idiots like you at the end of the day, because we've been there and you haven't. You've got this stupid idea that you know better. You don't know shit, pal. You really don't. And I say that to people at work. Youngsters turn around telling me I shouldn't be listening to this. I'm going, who the fuck are you talking to, dickhead? Now piss off. I'll listen to what I want. And the youngsters, there isn't a spark between the two brain cells that they use to actually figure things out. Music-wise, they try to push their music onto you. When you got like social media stuff like TikTok and other ones going, oh, we can do this, or you got to do it this way, and this and the other. Please go away.
Yeah, but I think that's the difference, because they have everything served in another way, so easy access to everything too.
Oh yeah, of course.
Compared, because we really have, if you like the band, it was not always you were able to even buy it on a record shop home, because it could be a very big hassle to even get the record if you even heard the song in the beginning. And it was a really detective work too to find out if you can get it, especially when I lived in Sweden too. And of course I don't say it's the same from country to country or city to city, whatever, because it can be so different. It's like if you have two persons, we're not gonna be the same. It's always something is different. Even if you were twins, it should probably be something that's gonna separate us in the end anyway. Because I don't believe that someone is 100% alike, no matter what. We can be very similar, but we are still not exactly the same.
I'm going to give you an example here. When I was working back in the UK, you had a young bloke come into me. He was talking about, but he had what was it? I think it was an Iron Maiden t-shirt or a Cold t-shirt I had on at the time. So then he kind of, listen to them, and we got talking. And he mentioned about he's going to see Metallica. I went, oh, okay then. I went, good for you. And he went, oh, and the last album they came out with, I can't remember which one it was at that particular time. I said, it's all right. I said, what about the early stuff? He went, what do you mean the early stuff? I went, Master of Puppets, Ride the Lightning, you know, them ones.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of them. You listen to Metallica and you've not heard the earlier stuff. He went, no. Well, you're not a Metallica fan then, are you? Duh. Metallica fans listen to the earlier stuff, not the newer stuff, the earlier stuff. That's what made the band in the first place. And I kind of going, oh, it's just. I went, do you do the same with other bands? He went, you know, I've not heard of some of these albums. I went, oh, for crying out loud.
But I guess it can be hard, especially when you have bands that maybe gone on for a very long time too, like Rammstein and all those bands too.
Yeah, but then again, you can't be a true fan.
Take Iron Maiden, they probably have fans from the newish.
Well, the thing is,
and you got the Depeche Mode for an example.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, that, well, Iron Maiden got a slap in a few years, or verbal slap in a few years back.
I'm gonna tell you, so you're even more visible because you move more and more out from the frame.
Yeah, but Iron Maiden got a verbal slap in at one of the gigs in the UK. Don't ask me which album it was. I don't know. All I know is they played all the new stuff. And there's a friend who told me about it. They played all the newer stuff and not any of the old stuff. And apparently the promoters weren't happy. Get back out on stage and play some of the older stuff, the ones that brought you into this sort of where you are now. That's great, because it means then that youngsters then, when they're actually at the gig, can hear the older stuff, not just the new stuff. And I'm glad they did it, because it's telling the band, you still got to respect your older generation who brought you in there here in the first place. So, you know, it's great.
Yeah, but I guess it can be sometimes a little hard when you try to attract younger public too, especially if you have gone on for a long time, like Iron Maiden, The Cure, The Sisters of Mercy, no matter what type of band back from the days, because if they do a concert and they maybe release a lot of albums during the time. So if you maybe do, I don't know, do between 10 and 20 songs maybe on a concert gig, and then you're gonna pick up something from everything. So it can be hard, and sometimes they want to maybe promote the new things more because they want to sell more from it. But of course I understand the logic is that play the old things too, because that's what people gonna recognize. That's what people already learned the lyrics from, and they start to sing along and enjoy it in another way. So it's gonna be like a together moment. It's not just the band playing and you listening and wonder, what is this? Am I gonna like it? Oh, this sounds good. Oh, what is this? I don't like it. Is this really the band I'm going for? But if you hear something that you already famous with too, so it's much easier when you can the lyrics and that. So I get that bit. So, and it's little also take care about the roots from start. What did get them there? But I can understand if you have a very long career, it can be maybe a little hard to select, especially some of the bands that maybe have changed a lot. Because, like I said, when you mentioned Metallica, for an example, so. It's like at least two different groups that the ones that like everything after the Black Album, and then you have the people that only like the music from before, and thought that the Black Album that was more the mainstream album. So.
I think that's what really sort of kicked them off was the Black Album, because I ended up going into Blackpool one night to the Tash. Now, people in the UK who should know where Blackpool is, and the Tash, and it's quite well known in Blackpool. I and where it used to be located is now changed. Now, I think I came home on leave, and we went into the Tash one night. I think it was my uncle's birthday, I think it was, and we walked in and thought, right, go to the bar, get a drink, listen to the music sort of thing. And because the album was so popular at the time, I'd actually seen Metallica in the same year they released the Black Album, and it was the Monsters of Rock. And when we went into the nightclub at the Tash sort of thing, Uncle's birthday, blah blah blah, a person actually walked up to the woman DJ for that night, and he asked for a Wolfen Man, I think it was, and she turned around over the microphone. I'm telling you now, I am sick to the back teeth of listening to this bloody album. It is now banned until I say so. I don't want to keep listening to the Black Album because I'm starting to get annoyed with it. I can understand that. I get the same sort of thing. You know, radio has an uncanny knack. I don't know about you, but radio has an uncanny knack of repeating the same records over and over and over and over and over and over. You're thinking, oh,
especially today's radios, I think, especially the radio station that is for just music. We have some in Sweden that play mainly music, but it's often just the same songs over and over again. So even if you liked one song maybe from the start, you're gonna hate it after a while because it's almost the same feeling you got during Christmas when they start to play Christmas music in the shops. And I feel so sorry for the people that work in that type of thing. So
hang on a fucking minute. Christmas songs?
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
No, sod off. You turn around and start singing Christmas songs at any time.
Do you know why I do it? I know because it's gonna wind you up because I don't do the ordinary one they will play over here because they don't play that one. But I do like na 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 na.
It's not just that. You do that any time of the bloody year. What was it? Paul McCartney's fucking Frog Chorus. The Christmas one.
The Band-Aid
one. That one.
Yeah, but you know that I can start doing whatever type of
You're just freaking
sounds.
random.
And he never understands because it can come from a movie, the things I do or whatever.
What, Indiana Jones?
Yeah, I can, and just, sometimes Star Wars or whatever I have in mind for the moment. And sometimes I don't even know. And sometimes it come back to the time when Dad play music too. It's like, who put the bomb in the batcha boo? Who put the bomb in the rama ding dong? So I can randomly start doing that if I don't listen to something and I think it's too quiet and I still want to express myself and my moods and that type of things. I start to do this type of stuff and he's like, how in hell do you get that fucking things in your head? I said, I don't know, it's just coming. It just felt right for a moment. Even if don't feel travel.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in the middle of fucking July is not a Christmas song, is it?
I think it's funny.
No, it's not.
Because I see his reaction all the time, so it's funny. But he reacts no matter what type of song. I can go over and sing along with his sisters or Mercy, whatever. He's still gonna react.
Yeah, I don't mind that, but fucking Christmas song in the middle of fucking July, really?
Yeah, you do, man, because usually...
I don't.
Usually when we are home, you are doing something that demands your concentration. If it's not just models or something, you try to read something. And I start singing and dance along and you say, can you stop doing that?
Especially if you're in my eye line and I'm at the fucking bench, then yeah.
You're a distraction.
I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing and I'm seeing you bopping around like an idiot.
And then he said, and then sometimes you get this great idea. Oh, maybe you should do some do-it-yourself project during the time because if we, okay, she's gonna sit still then. She's gonna sit still and have her headphones on. But what happens? Then I'm gonna get the same phrase back. You are a distraction, can you stop talking to yourself or stop singing?
Honestly.
But I think we can agree, both of us, that music are a big part of our lives. So I think that if you took that bit away, life shouldn't be that fun. Because no matter if it's music that makes you happy or works with the mood you're in for the moment. So music is still an important part.
I think that, just to highlight what you said before, in one way or another, it's the case of I don't force her to listen to my stuff. She doesn't force me to listen to her stuff. It's just a mutual respect between the two people's music. Some of the stuff I don't like of hers, some of the stuff she doesn't like of mine. It's the same with what I've got on now, I'm on and off. She doesn't like all the stuff that I have listened to of theirs. But at the end of the day, it's up to her and it's also up to me. If I don't want to listen to it, I put my headphones on or go and do something else. But if it, like I say, if it is music on, I'll put my music on and I'll go and disappear somewhere else. It's as simple as that. In the car, I try to make a mixture of what music we have on because I hate the radio. I have my music on, so I got a variation of lots of different music sort of thing. If we're in her car, it's just the radio, but what she listens to the radio in the car, I just kind of got off and crying out loud.
Yeah, but I don't mainly listen to that for the music. Actually, it's actually for the program leaders when they have the programs in between, because they have some when I went in the mornings they're really funny to listen to. I should wish it was less music on that bit. Now I'm gonna soon start to travel a little longer, so I can hear it a little longer. But I think it's more interesting to see what they talk about for the moment than the music itself, because that's often a repeating type of music that is right now the one that everyone should listen to if they're mainstream people. But when it comes to my car, and music is more that I can only play CDs in my car. And it was a little hassle to do the other thing through whatever we had before a cable, but something didn't work after a while with it. So I gave up, and because I don't often go that long routes, so I'd rather put on just the radio to have something that sounds in the background. Plus, if should it be a traffic accident or something, I can maybe get the information on the radio in that case. But often you respect that you maybe don't put on the thing, and sometimes I could say this song is a little too boring for. Because he likes some type of that very old rock music too that goes very slow and makes me jolly.
You mean Kingdom Come and things like that?
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
So like I said, can you at least put on some other song or something, so he can actually skip that song if that's the song I think is really boring to listen to. So can you please change? We can still listen to your music, but can you just skip this one? So he actually do that.
She doesn't. I think what you're trying to say is that one particular band I do listen to, she's not really keen on it. Or there's a couple of bands. One is Kingdom Come. And I've been listening to them since about the same time. It's 87, 88. And some of the tracks on it are slow type of tracks. And she's not really over keen on it. Magnum is another band I enjoy listening to. I was meant to see them, but I was denied. Magnum's another one. It's more like a soft rock type band. She's not really keen on them either, so it's a case of you kind of that's another thing you really don't like sort of thing. So if I'm in the car, I've got it on and I'll leave it on. But when she's in the car, so I'd sort of like, if they're too slow, I'll skip. I'll make it a little bit faster sort of thing. It's probably the same band, but I'll skip the slower ones.
Yeah. It's often the same band, but like I said, you maybe don't have to play the slowest, because I am not that keen in ballads and that type of things most of the time anyway. It's very rare that I actually like slow songs, and you know that. I have a few exceptions too that I like sometimes, but that is not that many. I do like the things you can dance with and feel a little more alive with. And sometimes you actually surprise me too, especially when you play something loud in the flat too during the weekends when he is our home's DJ for the moment. So suddenly he can start to play a band that I didn't even know that he's taken down for having on his system. because it's a band that I liked, and it's a pretty new band maybe I started to listen to, and I was thinking, how did he put that in? Because he can't know about that band that much more than if he heard me listen to it or something. You sometimes surprise me with goth music on your mixes that I didn't expect you to have, because it's that type of bands that you definitely haven't listened to, and maybe I have put it on sometimes or listened to it on YouTube or something, but I didn't expect you to actually have it on your system after a while.
Told you, if it's pleasing to my ears, then I'll put it on.
Yeah, so I really appreciate when he actually do those type of things, and like I said, that sometimes when it plays his ears, it's end up on the system too, but it can also get me very surprised too, because I didn't expect it, because I don't have that demand that he need to put it down on his system, because it's his system, it's not my system, if you know the difference there. So of course that makes me happy, because that makes me see that he actually cares about what I like too, and it's not like everything is about him all the time either, so he feel that he sometimes can do those type of mixes too. So I think it's a great thing too. But if you should try to round up this little team right now, music can be so much, it can be even if you discuss just more structure than we have done, because we are veering away from a lot of things all the time. But if you should take like a conclusion to the person you are today, is there something you should say that have shaped you and even maybe sometimes maybe get you in trouble when it comes to when you're gonna do things outside in the mainstream world that they don't like with the music type of way you like? Have you noticed something like that?
I have, especially when you get called a Satanist. Funny conclusion to that is that we have a church just next door here, and I had a T-shirt that was from Rob's Onward that she bought me, and it said on the back, Satan is my fucking coal driver, some coal pilot, that was it, something like that. And I walked past the church one day, and in the case I got called a Satanist because of the simple fact of what's on the back. Well, I wouldn't mind it on the front, it's like you got Rob's on with an upside down crucifix. But then again she turned around and went, you're a Satanist. I went, I don't care. But that's me. At the end of the day, I listen to what I listen to, how I listen to it, how loud I listen to it. It's up to me at the end of the day. If you don't like it, piss off. Simple as. I really don't care. It's the same with people at work. People expect me to listen to their type of music, and I'll just walk off. Oh, didn't you like the music? No, I don't fucking like the music.
Yeah, but I think that's a problem with workplace, because they say they want to do a mutual thing for everyone, but often if you have like something that is exceptional from what the most people there listen to, so then they're not gonna like what you listen to, or don't even interested to even try to listen to some of the different ones. They don't understand that the different subcultures can be so big too, so it can be a wide of music.
Oh, it gives me a headache.
Yeah,
I give you a fucking headache.
Yeah, but if they maybe say that about the little faster metalhead music you play or something, but like you like ballads and two and that type of things that I think is really boring most of the time. So I could guess that if you have played that, maybe have another type of view then. It's a little like goth. They don't understand how wide the umbrella for goth is too, that it's from different angles depending, and some of goths like everything or most of it, and some like just one thing. Some are more into things that are closer to showgaze or which now I forgot the labels. My fucking brain sometimes. I'm blown, I can excuse that. But at least when you go from one aspect with death rock down to like dark wave or something that more people may be into, and then you have the crossovers with industrial and other stuff, so you feel that the mainstream people are judging you before they even know anything about it.
And the only thing I've got to say to that,
we're not gonna say it because maybe YouTuber are not gonna like it, so
don't care.
Yeah, but I care because it's my channel. So, but like I said, that's the hard thing if you're not like all others. they always think you're a Satanist or something, and then if you go with an example like you had in the Rob Zombie t-shirt I gave you, and I think it's hilarious because it's my type of dark humor, and I know Trevor has just the same or even worse. So
your dark humor, Jesus Christ, yours is fucking light compared to mine.
Yeah, so but at least I think it is hilarious when they say that someone is a Satanist for different reasons, especially when they see an upside down cross, and when they go to the aspect what is an upside down cross is actually have nothing to do with Satanism, because it has to do with one of the apostles that didn't want to be crucified in the same way like Jesus from the start, because he didn't think he was good enough to be in the right way crucified. So he asked after doing the other way around. And if the people that are so Christian knew the background, they shouldn't say that it has to do with an upside cross to do, because that don't do is Satanist. Of course, there are Satanists that use that as a symbol. It's a little like pentacles and pentagrams are very misleading too. They think people are either witches or Satanists too, but it don't have to do with that either. So
like I understand.
Yeah, but the thing that I think that both metalheads and goths have the similar problem. We are both in two different subcultures, and both being blamed for being Satanist, or they think they're gonna ruin the next generation. Especially when you saw the programs back in the days when we were youngsters, and they have all those talk shows about how terrifying it was about the music, no matter if it was metal music or goth music, and it didn't help when it came catastrophic happenings in different countries too, that they blamed the subculture for it when it was just a person that did it. So it didn't have anything to do with music itself really, but everybody had to take the hit for it. So to wrap it all around, I think that Trevor and I can both agree that music is a big part of our lives. And if you are two persons that live together, no matter if you have similar type of taste or something, you're still gonna have things that are different. And the main reason is to respect each other, or else do like we do. Use headphones. And if you don't want to listen to the same thing the same day, just add on your headphones. You don't have to be disrespectful to your partner.
Excuse me.
He's always tired, so.
Sort of.
So I think it's more about respect for each other. So you allow the other one to listen to what they like, and at the same time you don't interfere with the other one's dislike for maybe that day to listen to that type of music. So it's giving a little more space, giving a little more musical freedom for the moment. So so what should you give for an advice to people that are watching about music, no matter what type of music you listen to? So do you have anything wise? Too much to ask, maybe.
Jesus, smart comment from you, isn't it? Not particular. I think I covered everything that was said before, so
Yeah.
no, I don't think I've got anything else to add.
Yeah, and I could say that have a little like to do with them, like I said, I don't just want stuck in one box, because it's the same with music. You can still like lots of different things, but that don't necessarily mean that you are not someone, as long as you have the thing in the base for what you like. So, and don't push your music taste on others. You can recommend things, but don't expect everybody to like what you like. You can get very hyped of a new band or a new song or whatever, but next person maybe dislike it completely. So to finish this video, and thank you everyone to being here, what you usually say in the end, Trevor?
What?
We should, if we are not doing, subscribe.
Well, you do that bit. I'm not to do
I
this.
thought you could help me for a change.
No, you can do it your own.
Yeah, but like I said, that if you're not following my channel, I know that a lot of people watching the videos are not. So please consider to subscribe. Don't cost anything, and you can support my channel that way. And for my old darklings and subscribers, love you all. Thank you for your support. You're the best. And
Bye.
now give me likes.
Bye.
Likes and comments, but don't be rude.
Exactly.
Show respect, and if you don't like my content, go to another channel instead and use your energy in a better way, because the world is terrible as it is anyway. Else, we just want you all to stay safe, stay weird, and be nice to each other. Love you all. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye again.
And if you want to see Trevor more, please put it down in the comments.
Oh shit.